Hi everyone, Jana is here, and today I'm going to make technical analysis for the coming week. We will have a look at main pairs as usual, import levels and my possible entry points. So I'll share with you guys where I will be looking to buy and sell. So we are starting with euro-dollar as usual, and of course let's have a look what happened previous week to see what to expect next week. So this is our week for our chart. And remember, I had my levels a little bit different way, so I'm trying to show you guys what exactly I was doing. So remember when we started the I think it was like this, something like that. Yes, so you see I was using these two tops and just the bottom, and we stopped around here, so I was expecting a possible continuation of the downtrend, remember guys, and as a one possibility. And of course as usual we're expecting the other way of movement, so I was expecting a possible move up and maybe sitting in this area, so pretty much not breaking that level. So you see guys, this is pretty much what happened this week. It didn't continue the way as I was expecting as the first possibility, but it jumped up and come back and actually stayed above the level. So that's why when it's created another bottom guys, so I could move my levels, okay? So you see that's how I moved, because I wanted to know where exactly that movement will go. Will it be stopped by this level or might go even further? So this time I was using more bottoms and only one top, well, except I think I was using something like this, and then when it started to break out I moved a little bit further, so you see, and then it's created another top a little bit later, you see, ignored this part and moved even further. So that's how guys I move the levels. So you see how I look and try to figure out where the market can stop and turn around. So, and I send you a screenshot with the sell order right here, and at my Telegram group, which is Jana FX. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet as Jana FX or Jana Forex. So my Telegram group you can join, is free, and from time to time I'm sending the signals guys, which I think quite safe, and all the signals I send you this week are closed, all trades closed with profits. And so that was also euro-dollar. And then guys, you see, afterwards there was nothing else. It was just, let's go on a smaller chart. Now it's 1 hour time frame. You can see the bigger picture. Now it's a smaller one, and it's just started to sit around the level, not breaking it, and not making any movements. It's very, very wide, and that's why I didn't touch it afterwards. So well, that's how this week happened for euro-dollar, and what to expect now guys, where I look for my next possible entry points. So you see at this moment it's very, very wide, and I wouldn't look at it as a place in the orders. I will be waiting for this movement. So let's see if it will go down to this level. I have still on my accounts open trade sell, so it's below it. So for example, if I wouldn't have it, I would just see if it will start to consolidate once again closer to this level, then I would look to place a sell order once again. So not in here because it's too wide, but when it goes to this level. So let's say if it's not going to go to this level once again, right, and started to go up, then of course I will be looking at possibilities. If it will go back to this area, maybe it will just go somewhere around this area and start to consolidate, or maybe it will give a little bit looking like a bearish flag once again. So if it will go a little bit somewhere in the middle, stop around here, then I will look at next possible entry point. So right now it's nothing, just a bit of waiting time. And of course let's go once again back into the main bigger time screen. So if it will break this level, continue the way down, of course you see here guys in the middle is quite wide area, so if it will do some stops in the middle, then it would be possible to see once again for next consolidations, and possible either have a correction go to the back to, let's say, this level, or continue the way down inside this downtrend channel. So at this moment I still see it as a first possibility, a possible continuation of the way down, especially with all this fear again of the second COVID-19 wave, especially in America. It's more cases once again guys, so that's why dollar is getting a bit stronger. And so that's why I see it might continue the way down, because I think it will be more news progressing with this, and it also looks a little bit like a double top. I thought it will go a little bit higher to give a quite proper double top, but it went down a little bit lower, so that's why I expect it might continue the way down, unless it might try to break out and give it is a possible triangle, right? So that's what I'm saying guys. If you'll see on the smaller chart time frame a little bit, if it will start to break up and go, let's say, below this level, it might look like a little bit of a triangle. You see, I don't want to draw it right now, but I will not exclude this point. You see, that's how it can be. Yeah, we have one top, we have one bottom, another top, another bottom. It might create another top, and then it will decide, right? Depends what the news is going to be. It might try to break it up or break around here somewhere and continue the way down. So I don't exclude that it might also just sit in here, and then I would look at this possible entry point. So that's pretty much it, guys. The whole euro dollar for you. Complete all my secret entry points around there. Okay, so now we're going to pound dollar, which is also had really good entry points, which I was also sending you guys through Telegram. And here's a bit bigger picture for you, so it's 4 hour time, so you can see what happens. So you see here, it's also decided not to continue the way down, which I told you again in the previous video, because it's been falling quite nicely. I told you that I expect a possible correction, right? So that's exactly what happened. You see, it was a good drop. It's actually quite nicely went inside the channel. So first drop, correction, and drop again. So it didn't continue all the way down. So of course, now looking at as a technical view, I would presume it should continue the way down. So that's why I have my next area here. You see, first one, guys, if it will start to consolidate here, so I will look at possible entry points in this area. Of course, I can say once again that if previously it was more it looked like it needed a bit of a correction, now I would still be more towards actually continue the way down, and then it would be one of these levels as a stopping points. And for you to know where these levels came from, so you just look at the previous. You see this bottom I have here, a little wing here, so then I have these bottoms and some more bottoms, so that this is where the levels are coming from, guys, and they can be stopping points, reversal points, anything, right? So it's all going to depend on the news. And once again, the picture at this moment doesn't look positive for pound just yet, and Brexit still, right? There will be some commentary and talks about the deal between the EU and UK, so that's why I would have seen it at this moment to continue the way down to somewhere around those levels, and then we'll start maybe consolidating and then turning around. So that's my view on the pound dollar, guys. So once again, like I'm saying, the first entry point is already, I'm pointing out here, it will start the consolidation in here. If it will continue, if it will not consolidate and just jump down, so of course that would be next level to look at it, if it will stop and start consolidate here, if it not next or next level. And of course, if it will jump up, so it depends if it will be sharp jump, let's say go and break that level, so of course it will be somewhere around here. If not, I will just probably see if it will maybe start to have consolidation once again in a narrow pattern here, just like a euro dollar. You saw a little bit similar condition, right? So that's the view. Okay, dollar yen is let's go. Okay, this is a 4 hour chart, you see. So we were here, and I told you straight away, guys, that was my entry point, and I sent it to you also on Telegram, and you see it's worked out well. We had the sell and a small profit on this movement, so perfect, nothing else. I didn't want to go for any other possible. I mean, there was a little bit of consolidation here, but I didn't want to risk it because it's just a little small one and not as good as this was a really nice consolidation. So what is it now? Well, I have warned you again, right? If there will be news with COVID, then yen might get stronger, right? And but it's also a fight because dollar is also getting a bit stronger, so that's why they might have this fight between them, and it can go any direction right now. I mean, you see, if you look and the channels, right, it looks like more towards still downtrend to me, it's in the downtrend channel. But if you look at the similarity of the previous move, you see we had here a drop, then a little bit reverse, and then had a drop, and then it started to go up. Here it looks a little bit the same, so I don't exclude that it might have exactly the same movement, especially with all of this what's happening. So I wouldn't, I mean, first I would see maybe it will give a bit of a head and shoulders, like I was waiting here, for example, but it's created a shoulder and possible head, and then it's had like a little shoulder here and then turned around, so that might easily quite be here. Of course, like I'm saying, it's a very big time frame. Let's go on a smaller one. I would say, of course, for perfect my entry point like here, I would rather to see this to go back in this little area and start to consolidate here, because this one would be even better than that area. Have quite a lot of space to go to next level, and from here to go to this area again. So for me, that's why, guys, I would probably wait. I wouldn't want to jump right now in a trade. I would just wait for some consolidation in this specific area. So if it will do so, then I will look for possible entry points. If not, then it will run away from me, so then I will be looking at next levels around here. And of course, if it will fall again, it would be this area, maybe even below because of this wing here. So I will be looking just in that area for the next possible entry point. So quite easy with dollar yen. Australian, I didn't have any entries. It's, you see, 4-hour chart, it didn't want to continue the way down. It's jumped up. It was a little bit nice here area on the smaller time frame, then just fall, started to consolidate here, a little bit here, so I just felt it's a little bit too much, too messy. I had better entry points, and so I decided just to not get into any trades. You see, guys, that was a little bit double top, which I was trying to show you here. So that was nice, a possible entry point, but I decided to just stay away. So, which, like I'm saying, with Australian dollar again, if there's news also from China, it should possibly fall, and I still would be more towards Australian dollar go down, because I'm still waiting for a possible shoulder, right? Remember, on a bigger time frame, the shoulder, that's what I was expecting, a possible shoulder, and I still look into that shoulder. Okay, so that's why here, guys, I'm waiting for if it will move in this area, right? So this is quite good. We still have this possible a bullish flag, which if it will go in this area, will break it, continue the way, I mean, maybe have a bit of like this or even further. So that still would be a shoulder, which is good, and the correction for a good move up, and go according to our good plan, technical and also quite fundamental, right, with all this news. So that's why this will be my first area, and possible continue. So if it will not do so and decided to jump up again, so this I will be looking at this area, you see, guys, so like something like this double top. So if it will start to consolidate here, it also would be a good possible entry point for both placing the orders both directions, right, and possible continue the way up to where we had previous tops, or it will continue the way down back to this level again. So that would be the second option for me if we will not consolidate here and then jump in this area. So if it, let's say, consolidate here then continue the way down, of course, then it's next level. So that's pretty much it, guys. The same, this next level, it might sit in here, might go again in a low, in a narrow path, and then continue the way down, and then depends if the news, it might jump up back. So I don't exclude this, but that's my first area to look for entry points. Euro pound also, we had, you see, it's still kind of moving up, just as I was expecting, right? Remember I told you, Euro pound, I'm expecting to continue the way up because it technically shows us, but there is nothing there on the market fundamentally which can make push euro or pound. You see, it's pretty much all week it was just sitting in this, which I told you also, I was expecting the possible just sitting in here, not moving anywhere because not anything major. So you see, if we will have some Brexit news, then it will probably move it either way, right? So it depends what the news, I can't say what news is going to be. Of course, if there will be something nice, then it will fall. If it's for pound, I mean, okay? If it's nothing nice, then of course euro against pound will continue the way up. So technically it does look like that, but I'm not going to go into any trades because this might still fall down, and I think there is something that's going to be on Friday, so that's why about Brexit. So let's say if this will fall, for example, here and start to consolidate, and I'll consider it again, right? But not as wide as this. This is too wide, okay? So if it will fall here in that little space, in that little area, and start to consolidate, then maybe yes. Of course, it might start to consolidate around here, which is also quite good position, as you can see how it is in the middle, and so I would look at that too. Right, so in this area, you see if it will just move and stuck somewhere around here, you see it's about 100 something up and 100 something down. Then I will look at it, okay, so but it needs to consolidate here in a nice little channel. So, but not as wide as this, like once again. So, and of course if it will jump up to the next level, so then I will look at next entry point around here. Of course it would be more towards looking downtrend, but like I'm saying, guys, it's like whole week it might just sit and consolidate if there will be something there at the end of the week. So that's my view on euro pound. Dollar Canadian, also I had a screenshot I sent you guys. That was an entry point, and as I was expecting the possible movement up, and that's what it did. You see, this looked like I had some levels around here which I moved around afterwards. It looked like a bit of a triangle, at the same time a bit of a bullish flag, you can see guys, right? So that's why it's moved. A bit strange it didn't finish the movement, because now we do have a kind of a uptrend channel. So once again, you're asking how I draw. You see that's the bottom, right? Okay, it's like a little double bottom. It's another bottom, so it's two, right? 1, 2, and I need another one, you see, at the top, and so I can draw this parallel levels. You see, it's simple. It's the simple law of the double parallel lines, right? You need 3 points to draw it. So and that's how you do it. So we have 2 bottoms and 1 top, and we can draw it, and we can presume that this movement should continue the way up and finish somewhere around here. I mean, even without drawing this, I told you previously that I've been looking that area and for that movement to get into this area, right? So, but now we can draw it and see it's possible, it quite be possible an uptrend. So that's what I'm expecting. Right now I don't have any entry point, so we had an entry point here. So right now I would see if it will move into this area, okay? So it might start to, of course it's not like I'm expecting it's possible this way. I mean, it might decide to want to stop here, of course. It can stop and start to consolidate underneath it. I mean, okay, so then we can see like how far is it, okay? It's like 70 pips, it's quite a good way. So yeah, if it will decide to sit and consolidate around here, then it would be a possible entry point, but I don't really want to go around anyway here because it's too close to the low point of this previous channel where it was sitting for a while, right? It depends what the news. I mean, it might of course turn around and just go back down. It didn't have a correction, so it might go a little bit up, have a bit of a correction, who knows, and then start to consolidate here in a bit more narrow path, and then continue the way up. It still will be considered in the uptrend channel, but I think more negative news, right, from US, and of course a possible effect on oil might help dollar rise against Canadian dollar, okay? So that's why I would draw just to see it's going a bit more in this area, but like I'm saying, if possible, like a little bit of consolidation. I mean, okay, on a smaller chart, I can have a look. I have all these levels and see how far as I started this consolidation, and well, we have it's quite, because of this, you see the bottom, it's like this is going to be too narrow, this is a little bit too much. So from here to here, okay, it's like 60 pips and even more 100 pips to jump back up. So it's quite possible then, if it will do open with some consolidation, I might consider to look at this a possible again entry point, okay? But you see, it's very it was a little bit messy around here. So, but yeah, it's quite possible to see if it will start to consolidate as an entry point. So we'll have a look. So that's dollar Canadian. Okay, gold is been like really messy. You see, it's actually jumped, right? Remember I told you guys, so if it will jump over this level, it will probably sit above it, and it probably will continue the way to, well, 1,800 is psychological level. I have it here a little bit lower because of the previous tops. And I see it might still continue. You see, that's the previous top, that's why I have it a little bit lower than 1,800, but that's probably, that little one is probably about 1,800. So, and yeah, that's what happened, right, this week. It's actually had a gap which closed it, so it's actually showed us, okay, I'm not going to go back down, I closed it and I'm continuing the way up. So I still see it as a possible continuation with all of this news, what's happening with this COVID fear. It might continue and do this movement, right? So get here or maybe even higher. So I have lots of, on one of my accounts, I have lots of here open trades. I have some floating, sales and buys. I'm having a lot, because actually I got in some trades. The gold was this week, lots of very wide spread and slipperages. It slipped a few times, and it was just nightmare to trade it. So that's why I didn't want to send any screenshots, because I mean I had a really nice consolidation here, but because of this wide spreads and slipperage, I didn't send you even like any screenshots, guys. So but we will see. I have enough on the account so I can hold, and now I'm trying to average wherever I had here. So, but as I was expecting, it continued the way up, right? So it continues the way up, and yeah, if let's say it will do this week, so that's where I will be waiting for possible consolidation, and of course from here I would see it more trying to go for correction. We still haven't had a really big move and we didn't have a correction. I mean it's accumulated quite a lot of energy here, that's what I've been telling you guys, and for another move up. So, and I mean, of course, if it will fall, and we will see what to do next, but I would just say if you have smaller accounts, then probably just better not to jump into the gold, because you see, even though it goes up, it's very sharply goes down at the same time. You see it's fall, and then of course you can see how everybody trying to buy it every time it falls, people just trying to buy it. So you need to be careful, because you know they might fall, right, and they might push it more down before they start to buy it again. So that's why you need to be really careful, especially the smaller accounts. So that's why my expectation, it might not reach this, it might like start to fall somewhere around once again, right, and then jump, but it might like get to this area and then jump over it, right, and then started to turn around, or maybe even continue the way. So it needs to be quite careful with this, but I would say for now I'll just wait. If it will move here to the 1,800, let's say, area, something like this, maybe slightly high, so then start to have consolidation. Of course, like I'm saying, I would consider more to then afterwards to go for correction, but depends what the news are going to be out there, and then that's how it was going to behave, right? So based on news, it's just this news, it was very, very messy this week with gold. So pound yen, I didn't have also any trades. You see 4-hour chart, it's like I was waiting for some consolidation in this area and it didn't happen. You see it jumped up, started to sit on top of this area, right, and then it's fall again back into my area. So right now I'm waiting for a possible, this is the entry point, a consolidation in here, and it's very wide once again. So you see, because we have bottom here and we have bottoms here and here, so you see what can happen is that it might have a little bit of a drop, right, and not go all the way down and just sit in here and then return. I mean, technically it looks like it should go up, right? So you can see exactly what I see, right? We had a fall, we are an uptrend channel, we have these two bottoms, one top, and we already have another top, so it does look like it should continue the way up. So, but with all of this news, you never know, right? And actually, if you look on a bigger time frame, pound yen is quite on the bottom too, isn't it? I mean, it's only have a little bit to go even further, and so I mean, yeah, it's possible to get into the trade. Let's say if you got in the sell, in the buy, and you got in down further, and then eventually it will turn around, right? But it might take months, who knows, right? So, but it does look like it should turn around. So, like I'm saying, I don't like much just to jump into the trades, especially when the situation like this. And I would just say I would wait again for consolidation, and maybe if it will start to consolidate in this area, you see guys, I mean it's quite wide for pound yen, usually it doesn't go in such small consolidations, but if it will, then I would look at possible, you see I can place the sell, it's like has like 50 at least pips, right, to the next to the bottom, so it might just go here, which is fine, and of course it might go up as a inside the uptrend channel. So you see there's like all those possibilities what it can do. So that's why that would be my first area to look at, guys. And of course, I mean afterwards it's quite big. If it will go, let's say, up, so it might, you see here in the middle somewhere start consolidate, but let's say I would wait for the next level here. If it will go down, of course it will be next level here, and then who knows, next level, and the same if this one go up, and it will be some the other level. So that's my view on pound yen. Now we're going quickly on oil. I didn't have any trades. You see, it's closed the gap. I told you it will close the gap. Nobody believed, but it did close it. I mean, it's quite fast. I thought it will be a little bit slow. Otherwise, I would just keep my trades previously open. But with all the situation again, some people saying that it might fall once again because of the fears of COVID second wave. And I mean, it does look a little bit like, again, right? Before it was looking a possible double top. Now it looks maybe it will be a shoulder head, and maybe it will fall and give another shoulder, who knows. But like I'm saying, now game over for me with oil at this moment, for now anyway, because it's closed the gap. This is it. I'm just going to sit and wait what's going to happen next. Let's say if it will fall, then we will see where it's going to fall, what kind of news are going to be in the air, because it's really hard to say. but I mean technically it does look it needs a correction, so that's why technically looking I would be seeing this a possible fall first, and then maybe even this area, and then it would be a possible either continued way down again to the next level or actually turning around. So you see, it depends on all of those news, but I would just not go into it for now, just wait a little bit. So that's my view, guys, on the market and where I will be looking for placing my orders. If you like the video, of course, don't forget to subscribe, like. Happy trading, everyone, and I see you next time. All the necessary links you can find in the description under this video. Okay, guys? Bye!